Welcome to Rauta's Reviews. Today's album is very atypical considering the music which I usually present you here, and also because this one is a self-financed release after a few years already in the game. Mournful Lines is the name of the band, and this one comes from Oulu, Finland. Now, Versatility is their, I think, second full-length album, but the band has been active with quite a few demos, singles, or EPs meanwhile. So Busy Bees doing self-financed stuff. So let's open it up and see what's inside. This is a kind of a regular CD, jewel case as you can see. So let's open it up and take a look at the band photo. Here it is, this six-man band on this release anyway. There's the female vocalist, then the rest of the crew, keyboards, guitars, drums, bass and all that stuff. And here is the track list. It's actually missing the hidden track. There's actually 10 tracks. It's about 42 minutes or so, but it lists here 9 tracks in total for some peculiar reason, and the same goes here on the CD. So like I said, this is a band that has been there for a few years. And when I first heard this band some few years ago, the first recording they did was just horrible music. Kind of a melancholic, melodic, gothic kind of a music which just made me rather facepalm and cry and put my candles on. Luckily, the band was strong-willed or boneheaded enough to not care what I had to say, but to continue evolving and creating better records. So that's what they did actually, and a couple of years later the band was able to pull it through with a lot better results, yet still having it kind of a mediocre way. Now Versatility is a little bit, yet again, a thing going better direction. The music is surely very melancholic, very melodic, very gothic, very kind of sad, but with romantic flavors. But now they have, like they actually said themselves, kind of have found their own way of creating the music, their own sound, so to speak. And this time actually the production is pretty good. It's really good in comparison to many albums out there. So everything is kind of a top-notch in that sense, and all the pieces are finally falling together in the right way, except that there are some minor flaws nevertheless. Now this is a kind of music which is very vocal driven. That it means in essence that there are both clean female vocals as well clean male vocals, which are often sang together, you know, in kind of a, in order to create kind of a romantic / melancholic feeling. It's actually quite poppy way to do music rather than metallic, but I'm not saying that's the wrong way to do, because actually both of those voices are nice, and especially the female ones are really pleasant to your ears. Now the flaws what this band actually has is that meanwhile they have kind of idea and vision which way to create their music and which way to compose, the actual songs are still quite mediocre-ish. There are good ideas, good single melodies and vocal parts which actually should take the band a little bit further, but somehow it's still on a kind of like a demo level, which I guess would explain the self-financed version of the CD. So the band is quite there, but not still far enough. But all pieces are there, and the way of how they express this kind of a melodic metal or rock, it's quite nice. But I think one of the reasons why the band isn't succeeding well enough is that they still have not decided whether to be actual gothic rock, whether to be melodic metal, or whether trying to be even a little bit heavier than that, because there are some growling parts as well. Luckily they are only there to spice things up, because they are seriously not needed there. They don't actually bring nothing cool to the table. So this band is kind of like balancing whether it's gonna be kind of a popish, rockish, gothic stuff, or whether it's actually gonna be a little more heavier, melodic, melancholic metal. Now, combining these two is not impossible, of course, but it's totally kind of a diverting the band's attention to two different directions, which in my opinion is rarely a good idea. But like I said, if you're into melodic, melancholic metal, if you have a or need for music that you would shed your tears because of some friend being dead, or romantic relationship gone south or whatever, maybe this is the soundtrack you actually need for the end of winter or early spring, in order to give this kind of a new bloom to come and take your life to better winds, waves, or whatever. If this makes no absolutely sense to you, or you're just a fan of brutal, harsh, violent, raw, dark metal and all that stuff, be it black metal, thrash metal, speed metal, heavy metal, black metal, death metal, I don't know what kind of metal, then just, skip this one. This is for those sensitive souls, those who have place for kind of a romantic feelings and melancholy and all that stuff. So, are you a candle lighting person or are you not? That should basically figure it out if this album is for you or not. Anyway, quite decent album, but not yet there. So decide for yourself if you want to check this one out through the band's internet pages and whatnot. You'll find the links below. Anyway, thank you for watching this review, and as always, keep those thumbs and comments going. We'll see you again with the next review. See ya.